Hi there. Welcome to my daily Facebook Live. My name is Barry Selby. This is Messages from the Masculine number 168. To Inspire the Feminine Heart is the subtitle, and today's topic is actually a continuation kind of yesterday and previous day's broadcasts. So that's number 166 and 167. That makes sense because it's 168. I do this daily, hence the number count going up pretty rapidly. And to get started, let me tell you a bit about myself. My name is Barry Selby. I am a relationship attraction expert, but also a passionate champion for the divine feminine. And in my work, I help a lot of women find balance in love, life, and business. And it really is about service to a greater cause, which is helping women become more powerful by being their feminine. And I talked about that a lot yesterday. But what hit me today, actually had an interview, if you can watch on my Facebook page this morning, 11 o'clock this morning, it's still up there because it's a Facebook Live. I had a nice 1 hour conversation with a friend of mine who's in Las Vegas. And we talked about this topic I want to bring up today in my own Facebook Live to give you some inspiration, some suggestions, some ideas on how not to pay the price being a female entrepreneur. And I'm using that term intentionally because this is what many women in business, and particularly when they're solo entrepreneurs, or I should say especially when they're being solo entrepreneurs, the price they pay. So I want to speak to that and also solutions, because I don't like leaving you hanging. Just to be clear, I'm not just going to tell you about the problems, I'm going to help you with solutions as well. So, to put it in succinct terms, for many of you ladies out there who live in the business world and commit to yourself to a life of entrepreneurship, getting things done, being successful, and getting goals and making things happen is you, as I mentioned yesterday, and by the way, I do highly recommend you watch my previous broadcast from yesterday, that sounds a bit more English, because I covered some pretty deep stuff in that one and gave you 5 keys, and I want to speak to a couple of them today as a reminder and go a little deeper. So this is part 2 in a way of yesterday's, just so you know where I'm going from. So for many women out there, may not be you, but maybe some women you know, and if you know who they are, please share this with them, it might help them. Being an entrepreneur is a challenge to your feminine, what's we're looking for? Not standards is the wrong word, but your feminine way of being. Because the entrepreneurial model and business, generally speaking, is built for the male mindset. Yes, the one in here. So you ladies have to try to emulate that or figure out a way to fit into that to succeed in the same arena. Makes sense? Like it's like when Rome does, the Romans do in a way. But what you've been called to do and invited, or actually required to do if you want to be an entrepreneur, is to do things like men do, which frankly sucks. And I believe there's another way, which I'll get to as well, but I want to speak to the price you pay and a solution as well. So the price you pay for doing this is you tend to, in some ways, atrophy. Yes, horrible word, I know, but it's kind of atrophy, because what happens when you're an entrepreneur in the business world, I keep using that phraseology, I'm going to have a better term for it right now, is you tend to embrace the shell, the mask you put on to fit into the environment. What happens is that mask gets stuck. I'm being graphic for a reason. I'm sure you get this point. So many women I know have actually had challenges in their relationships with men, either their husbands or their lovers or meeting somebody, because the mask they're wearing is so stuck to their personality that they don't know how to disengage and reconnect to their feminine. They're driven by this masculine, or I should say male, energetic, to be successful in the business world, but also to be one of the boys. And there are many women entrepreneurs I know out there, quite a lot of them in fact, but even though they're doing work in the feminine world, like doing stuff for women's health, or even things like pregnancy, or internal processes stuff as well. So many women, even though they're doing work for women, helping women in their own way, are still running their business as a masculine mindset or a male mindset. And it's limiting, it's dysfunctional, and it's not helping you. I'm going to give you 2 things, because one is that if you're doing that anyway, I need to give you some, I do need to give you some keys and tips on how to recuperate and restore yourself when you go home or when you turn off the computer. But secondly, I want to see if there's a way I can present something, if it's in there. I'm going to see, the stuff is coming through, so if something's coming through that helps you with how to be a feminine entrepreneur effectively, I'll give that to you happily. I'm not sure if I have that for you right now, just be aware of that. So backing up to the first one I was going to mention. For many women out there, your focus on self-care is inadequate. Yes, inadequate. when you come home from work, or I should say turn off the computer because you're an entrepreneur, you work 24/7, which is one of the problems, your idea of self-care could be as bad as a beer in front of the TV like men do. Yes, I know women who do that. Or at best, maybe going to the spa once a month. Not even once a week, but once a month. So here's some suggestions for you that I hope you'll take on in service to your heart, in service to your feminine expression, and in service to your wholeness. Because so many women I know out there are burning themselves out, physically having issues with their adrenals and other things too, because they are not being aligned to the true nature to be like the men in the business world. It's a trap, and it's a price you pay, which is why the title is what it is. So, suggestions, encouragements, there's another word I'll come up with in a second. You know I talked about the self-love practice. If you watch my previous broadcast, you know I do that. The self-love practice, which is a morning-evening mirror work process. Well, I want to give you a spin on that. And I actually mentioned it this morning in the broadcast because it was something I was talking about with Petty, who was the one who interviewed me on Facebook Live earlier today, but you can still watch the broadcast. It's up live on my page. So the thing I recommend in the morning and the evening is set up your life a certain way. Now, for most of you ladies out there in your business entrepreneurial world, you probably don't take as much time for yourself as you could or / should take for yourself. So here's some things you can do if you can find 5 minutes or even 3 minutes at the beginning of the day and the end of the day. I do recommend you discover how to connect to your heart. It's going to sound silly to say this, but trust me, it's important. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a businesswoman running the world, doing big things, it's so easy to get caught up in the embrace of that work and forget yourself. So, in the morning, spend time connecting with your heart. And I mean, either put your hand on your heart and breathe, or look in the mirror and tell yourself that you love yourself, you appreciate yourself. Maybe run affirmations, or even talk about your day ahead in the mirror, but connecting eye to eye with yourself in the mirror. Because by doing that, you bring yourself into the conversation with yourself. It sounds silly to say that, but I mean what I say. It also means that you bring your feminine self present and forward, because your heart-based energy can help serve you through the day. At the end of the day, and I've got more to do, I just want to give a quick beginning and end, so you have brackets on the day. At the end of the day, before you go to bed, when you're brushing your teeth or you're doing something clean up at the end of the day, just take 3 minutes if you can, 5 minutes if you can, and review the day, disengaging yourself from past things so you can actually turn things off. So imagine yourself unhooking all these chains and loops and agreements from the day, so you can release them from the day, so you can put them on for tomorrow. Maybe it's something you need to resolve. Maybe it's even some part of you that needs to just give yourself a break. Some self-forgiveness, perhaps. Yes, even self-forgiveness for business. It does work, trust me. Making peace with things that happen in the day so you can let go of it, so you can go to sleep clear-headed. Because 90% of the challenge is you don't take care of yourself. Sorry, ladies, it's the truth. And I'll give you the cold truth for this reason. We men can be tougher, to be honest. We men tend to hold it together better. That's because we have stronger shells. Our internals may be not as strong as yours are. I believe in some ways we're reversed. Women are generally softer on the outside, but much tougher on the inside. We men are tougher on the outside, but a lot softer on the inside. So we can tough it out more easily than you can. But you get hurt, more abused, more bruised, and more upset more easily than we do. That's just the way things are, because we're different. Again, men and women are different. I've talked about this many times before. And so to have you do things that are self-nurturing practices that you do at the beginning and end of the day, and if you do it in the middle of the day too, that's even better. If you're an entrepreneur, you probably work such odd hours, you can do it anytime you want, if you remember to do it, which is why I'm encouraging you. So taking the time to self-nurture, self-connect, self-reflect, and connect, especially in your heart, because you start renewing and regenerating your feminine strength, your feminine power. It's like tapping back into your source and supply. If you do this once, twice, 3 times a day, just for a couple of minutes, even in the bathroom, I mean, you do it any way you can. If you're a crazy schedule, you don't have time to do it like scheduled, just fit it in where you can. When you can schedule it, do that, please. Schedule it in. By having this choice to reconnect, it puts your self-care at a higher priority next to your work. Because for many of you ladies out there, just like the men, work comes first, self-care comes way, way second or third or fourth. Don't do that. It's not good for you. You can only deliver your work as long as you take care of yourself. So make them at least equal, if not self-care first and then the work. I'm giving you a visual reference because some of you out there are looking at me going, "When do I have time to do self-care?" Well, if you want to live a healthy life and to reconnect so you actually feel alive and thriving and you don't burn out, You need to raise your standards of self-care. Self-care, excuse me, above your work. I don't remember which hand I was using. So that's the starting point. I believe there is a way for women in your feminine to do business, to be entrepreneurs, and stay connected to your feminine. I know some friends of mine who teach this stuff. I don't know the practices because I'm not in their trainings because I'm not a woman. Hello, you can't guess that. Even with the nail, doesn't do that. But I know there is a way. But I want to give you some practices this time, just in this video. It is an extension, by the way, again, of yesterday's video, which is much deeper. I give you 5 ideas to work with. This is an add-on to that, in a way, and a reminder and encouragement to please take care of yourselves. I appreciate and applaud women who choose to take on the world as an entrepreneur, to be a high-powered businesswoman, taking charge in the world. But I feel for you when you don't take care of yourself. This is my reminder to you. This is becoming more of what my work's about. I'm noticing in my coaching and in my sharing is that I'm really finding myself being pulled into supporting women in business. Not as a business coach, although that's a sidebar, but as a feminine authority, support, inspirational coach, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So if you know anybody who should watch this who may be burning out or burning a candle both ends and she's not taking care of herself, this may be a good reminder. I'd also send her yesterday's broadcast as well. And if you have any questions or comments, please message me directly, or you can put comments below. And if you have any desire for help, please reach out to me. I'm here for you. Again, this was an extension of what I talked about this morning. I was on Facebook Live this morning from 11 a.m. to noon with a friend of mine who interviewed me for her videocast, whatever you call that, which you can watch as well. That's all on Facebook. And this, as a reminder, is my daily Facebook Live. This is number 167. And number 166 and 165, which are the last 2 days, speak to this as well. So please go back and watch those. I do these every day. This is my service to you. It's my inspirational message coming through every day because I've got to let it through somehow. And I invite you to keep checking them out. You can find them all on my business page on Facebook as well as on my YouTube channel, which is Barry Selby. I've saved them also onto my website, which is barryselby.com, and you click on the video blog to watch all of them there. There's a lot, 167 of them. Well, once this one goes up. If you have any questions, need support, please reach out to me. If you want to share this with somebody who needs to watch this, please do so. It may just change their life. And I wish you well. This is a challenging time to be a woman in this world. Well, it's always been challenging, but right now with the expansion of the entrepreneurial mindset, being solo entrepreneurs is so common nowadays. There's so many women embracing it, but a lot of women aren't doing it the way that supports them best. So my message, my heart's calling is to invite you to take care of yourselves on the journey, because you deserve to be healthy as well. Take care of yourselves first, then take care of your business. Yeah, that's a new phrase. I'll speak to you again tomorrow. I'll be back with more. Don't know what it's going to be yet. It will be what it will be. And yeah, take care of yourselves, and then take care of your business. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.